Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. My door is open, so you may hear comments or sounds. That's just life past my sweet store. Okay, current blood sugar 7.3, staying pretty well within acceptable ranges. Still calibrated. I've had a correction, I guess, because now it's at 0.650. So, okay, 92% time in range. These two we talked about yesterday. We got to work on today, getting that down. My average sugar has come down. I think earlier in the last video I did, it was 7.5. Now it's 7. So, awesome numbers. Today I want to talk to you about impact and diabetes. So, that's all I really have to say about it, I guess. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Diabetes affects our lives in so many different ways. Today, we're going to take a look. First of all, physical. This is obvious. We can all see how the diabetes is impacting you. One, you feel like crap. Pure and simple. Before you get things under control, you're gonna feel like crap. And a lot of times, people don't know what's going on. And even some have been misdiagnosed. So you need to ensure that you know what's going on every step throughout the process. For myself, it was pretty clear cut. I was showing all the symptoms. Increased thirst. I had lost a huge amount of weight. I was up all night peeing for probably, it seemed like a month beforehand, but I've read recently that they found probably about 2 weeks. I just started going to the washroom quite a bit. And I just felt like I didn't want to be there. It was kind of dragging, which kind of was offset a bit because I had started high school. In Vancouver, you start high school at grade 8. It was awesome. So you learn how to take care of yourself. Second is that once they diagnose you, your whole life has changed. You've got to learn how to do a blood test, how to give yourself a shot, how to eat, how to count carbs. It's an awful lot of information. Nowadays, it's pretty well done within 3 days to a week. When I was diagnosed, it was pretty much 4 weeks of intense learning. I went in there early October, and I believe I got out Halloween Day. So be aware that, yes, it affects you physically. It also can affect other things that you may not even know what's going to happen or what's going on. If you don't control your blood sugars, you could have complications. Now, that doesn't mean everyone who doesn't take care of themselves is going to have a complication. The chances are a lot more likely that you will. And as I've said before, and I know I sound like a broken record here, if you're in control, you're probably the best to ward off these. I've had a few complications, but keeping in control hasn't allowed them to spread. My eyes, number one. I had retinopathy where blood vessels burst in the back of my eye. Keeping my blood sugar lower has happily stopped this from happening. Doesn't mean that it will always be that way, but it's happened so far. So, diabetes can affect your heart, your nerves, your eyesight. Doesn't affect hearing for some reason. You can affect your skin. It's a multifaceted disease. Next, diabetes will impact your wallet. I am lucky that over the years with my brittle diabetes that I live in Canada, British Columbia. And as such, we have a great healthcare system where if you have the money, you can get things done. If you need it, it can happen pretty quickly. So, all pretty good. But you're going to have your supplies. You're going to have probably buy food. You probably should be eating on a regular basis. Everyone is saying, well, count carbs totally out of your diet and you'll just feel so much better. It's also important to remember that this up here uses carbs and your body uses carbs for energy, but your brain runs on carbs. Now, I'm not talking about having 50,000 processed carbs a day. We're talking like complex carbohydrates that have two molecules joined together with, I'm just going to call them a link. I know that's the wrong term. But it's easier to digest. I have to take a look to see if my new cornstarch routine works in that way, keeping my blood sugar stable. But again, you're going to have syringes at first. You could have a pump supplies, glucometer strips, lancet. It all adds up. Most of it will be covered in Canada. Also, it will be covered on your taxes. Keeping your blood sugars under control costs money. It's a reality of our life. Just don't overbuy is my best scenario for you. Buy what you're going to use within a certain period. Then add on a bit more, and you should be safe in keeping your costs down at an even keel. It's important to remember tubing, test strips. Well, something else you're going to have to buy is a ketone meter. But all good. As you learn about your diabetes, you probably don't need one with all the bells and the whistles on it. Okay, so we've had physical, we've had financial. What about emotional? As your blood sugars are out of whack, you can feel very moody. Your relationships can suffer. I'm not really, I don't feel, other people could have a different opinion, but I don't feel when I'm high, I'm more cruel or vindictive to anyone else. Low, I can get very snarky very quickly. And it's just my body not working well. Keeping your blood sugars steady also will help you in your relationships as people see how you truly are. And if you have one burst because you have a high or a low blood sugar, they won't take it personally. But if you're unknowing at the time, it could cause problems. You need to be sure that you're always thinking of the other person and think what you're going to say. A lot of times, you're just say things off the cuff. And that's true for anyone, but when your blood sugars are out of whack, either high or low, that's going to be an issue. Remember, you have a disease that is going to affect every aspect of your life. It's going to have an impact in future ailments that you have every time you go to the hospital. When I had my wisdom teeth out, I had to go to a hospital and be put out because that's the way they did diabetics. I don't know if that's changed now. I've lost all my wisdom. So we'll have to see. But remember, diabetes will always be there. It's hard to envision just have someone talk to you about it. But as you move on in your journey, you will see how diabetes impacts your life. Take it one step at a time. You'll do great. And the best way to kind of minimize this whole impact and everything is to try to keep blood sugars within the normal range, but don't try for perfection. It's not going to work. Strive for excellence. If you get perfection, wonderful. But if you try, it's not going to work. And with that, have a super day. We'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.